It's not like I feel threatened by this guy, but the more you ignore him, the more likely it is that he could threaten you. I hope you didn't kick Zeke out because you don't trust him. I'll trust your judgment, Nichelle. But I won't turn away while our other son is making the biggest mistake of his life. This shouldn't be happening. I don't care. Alan, I don't know why you came back, but I'm telling you right now that I'm not ready to have a round 2 with you in my office. Does that mean you'll be willing to hook up with me in your office a second time? You ready to be done with the school year this week? I definitely am. It's crazy that we're gonna be seniors after this year is over. When I enrolled to Valley Park High, I never expected it to be as crazy as it was. And you sure never expected me to be your friend by the end of the year either. Zeke, didn't you hear me calling you? Any good news? Mrs. Russo, what are you doing here? To let you know that you won't succeed in turning my son against me. Hooking up in my office was a one-time thing, Alan. I'm chief of staff. What we did set a terrible example for the hospital staff. I get it. My grandfather would lose it if I hooked up with anyone at Russo Jewelers. But there are plenty of places the two of us can spend time together. We won't be spending time together anywhere. What happened in this room, it was a moment of weakness. Dr. Murphy, showing weakness is looked down upon in my family. But you can be weak with me as long as I'm able to be weak with you. I'm really sorry for the hostility I showed you most of the school year. It's all in the past now, Vanessa. Besides, what sort of friend would I be if I held on to grudges? Since we're friends, we've got an entire summer to make up for lost time. Sounds like you've got some adventures planned for me, Max. Since I left the Catholic Church after I got saved, we'll be seeing each other at church often. Other than seeing you at church, I sure would like to hang out with you on your free time. What had you so focused? Just scrolling through stupid videos. Did you apply to the school's tech program for senior year? Yeah, I'm looking into doing HVAC. I still can't believe I'm actually being serious about school right now. For the longest time, I wasn't even sure if I'd even have a future. Now you can be sure. Zeke, you've really got a lot to offer to this world, and I'm just so proud of you. You feel like this is the place to come discuss this? At my job? What's the issue? You had no issue screwing my husband. Gianni and I are over now. Clearly. Most of all, I'm not trying to turn Ben against you. Oh, really? Then how come he came to my office ready to make me an enemy, just to stay with you? Mrs. Russo, I never asked him to confront you. In fact, I asked him not to. Do you smell smoke, Quinlan? It might be coming from your pants, because I'm not buying the crap you're selling. Since there's no reasoning with you, I think we should end this conversation so that I can get back to work. Who's stopping you? Unfortunately, I'm not sure if you can work well knowing that I'm preparing to make your life a living nightmare. Aren't you Catholic? What happened to the whole remaining pure for marriage thing? I still attend Mass every now and then. Of course, not as often as my grandparents. My dad always taught me that I could always go to confession in case guilt kept eating me up. That sort of advice doesn't surprise me coming from your father. Besides, being with you doesn't feel wrong, Dr. Murphy. If it didn't feel right to you, then you wouldn't have hooked up with me to begin with. I'll be working at the mall this summer. Even though my family's been blessed with this newfound wealth, I'm not trying to depend on it. What a coincidence. I'll be working at the mall this summer too. I'll be working at the Russo jewelry store, of course. We can hang out during break and after we're finished with our shifts. Do you just expect me to ignore JJ and Ulissa just for me to spend time with you, Max? Bring them along. We can make this a group thing. It would give me a chance to know JJ and Ulissa better. You sure you're proud of me? Working HVAC makes me feel like that's beneath you. Don't think of it like that, Zeke. Look at Vanessa Doval. Her dad owns an HVAC franchise. Maybe I'll be working for him after I finish the program. Better yet, you can become friends with her, just like your sister is. Not happening. The point I'm trying to make is that if Jeremiah Doval can find a lot of success in his company, then you can too. I don't deserve your support, Nichelle. If you think that I'm afraid of you, Mrs. Russo, then you're sadly mistaken. You can't do anything to me or my brother. Zeke did as you asked. Adaku's organization has crumbled and Zeke is no longer dealing. For now. Soon he'll get bored and miss out on all the money he made. Once that happens, your baby brother will fall into old habits and I'll be right there to catch him when he slips. I'm getting really tired of you threatening my family, and you make me sick, tearing my family apart. This is a game you started, Quinlan. I'm ready to play. Is everything okay here? Again, Alan, I'm chief of staff at this hospital. I've got a reputation. I was born into the Russo family. I've got a reputation as well. Exactly. If anyone finds out about us, it will be a disaster. I'm not gonna shout it to the rooftops, Dr. Murphy. You have my word. I'm sure that Finnegan and Heidi didn't shout their affair to the rooftops, but they were caught. Luckily for you, I'm not Finnegan, and you're certainly not Heidi. Since I'm not your ex-husband, I think that gives me pointers. Alan, do you only like me because I'm what you consider a booty call? I like you because you're a good listener. Dr. Murphy, you're cooler than you realize, and of course, you're hot. What's wrong, Vanessa? Don't worry about it. I'm starting to worry. That's the same sort of look I saw you have when I saw you looking at your phone during your family's barbecue. What's going on? Max, if our friendship is gonna continue, then you should listen when I tell you to drop it. Well, you've got my support, Zeke, and you'll have to deal with it. What if I mess up again? You're human, aren't you? Just don't cheat on me again. Most of all, be honest, and we'll make this relationship work. See you later. Mrs. Russo is distracting me from my work, and I would like her to leave. DA, as CEO of this company, I don't like seeing any of my employees being harassed. Please, since I am the DA, I know exactly what harassment looks like, but I'll go. What was that about, Quinlan? Ben decided to give me a second chance, and his mother has nothing better to do than complain about it. Pacho Torres coming to Quinlan's rescue. I could do something with that. Just remember what you're worth, and let's hope Udell remembers how priceless you are. I don't deserve your support, Nichelle. Well, you've got my support, Zeke, and you'll have to deal with it. What if I mess up again? You're human, aren't you? Just don't cheat on me again. Most of all, be honest, and we'll make this relationship work. My gut feeling has never been wrong. Not even one. Not even one what? Never mind, Lorenzo. Never mind. It still boggles my mind that I've got to wait on Pacho's timeline for me to progress in my career. I've been in the company longer. But he's the boss, Quinlan. If the board didn't think Pacho could help the company succeed, then they wouldn't have voted him in. I get where you're coming from, but you just gotta be patient and show Pacho that you deserve your own TV program. Did anything else crazy happen at work lately? Unfortunately, I'm not sure if you can work well knowing that I'm preparing to make your life a living nightmare. Ben, I've gotta call you back. Forgot to get something? What you got my phone for? Why do you wanna lose Nichelle when you just got her back? Before we begin this conversation, is this about Isabel? Depends. Are you still pursuing the same woman who got rid of your child? I'm keeping my distance from Isabel for her sake, Mom, not yours. Now what do you need to speak with me about? I need you to let Vivian go. I'm really glad that you stopped by, Wanda. I promised that I would stop by and visit, didn't I? Since I wanted to stop by after I finished with work, I wanted to ask you something. What is it? Every year, Udell and I have set up a Juneteenth festival to help spread awareness for missing Black people. This year, we'll be hosting it on the beachfront at Theodosius' palace. I would like you to come, Owen. Yvette, I thought you would feel a bit happier today since you're going to be done with school this week. On top of that, you get to use your phone and computer regularly again since you're off punishment now. How can I be happy when Mom is oblivious to the fact that her friendship with Owen Grant will land me in prison? Give me back my phone, Quinn. Do you honestly have no shame that you're looking for pleasure from a computer? There you go, getting into someone else's business. Did you forget that being nosy is what almost made you lose your life? And did you forget that you almost lost Nichelle forever because you couldn't keep your hands in your pants? Now you might lose her because you can't seem to leave your pants alone. What matters is that I won't go out cheating on her. Maybe you won't. But what you watch doesn't encourage you to remain faithful. Either way, do you think Nichelle would be okay with any of this? Why do you want me to fire Vivian? She's one of the best interns I've ever had. In fact, I think she is the best. And she also has an ambitious spirit, Isidore, which is why I hired her in the first place, Mom. Are you not concerned that her ambition could be a threat to this family? I really do appreciate the invite, Wanda, but this is an event you set up with Udell. Since this is an important event, I don't want to cause any issues. I doubt that Udell would try to bring anything up with you there. Not on a day where we're celebrating the freedom of the last remaining slaves in this country. Certainly not when we're hosting this event to raise awareness for missing people. Do you think he'll be able to control himself? When people go red, they forget where they are. Owen, please don't let your concerns keep you from coming to such an important event. Your mother and I agreed to do everything we could to keep you from going to prison, Yvette. D.A. Russo isn't pursuing charges against you, remember? I remember, Dad. You've already shown to us that you're remorseful for what you've done. On top of that, you've learned how important it is not to lie to your parents or to the police. But I still lied. And the closer mom gets to Owen Grant, the more likely she'll let it slip that I lied about Max. Now you're just doing too much. I only watch it when I'm bored. Boys your age usually play video games when they're bored. Boys your age watch that junk just to get a fix. I don't gotta listen to this. Yes, you do need to listen to this, Seek. Don't you know how watching these videos can affect you mentally and physically? The more you watch this stuff, the more likely you'll lose interest in the show. And she's a smart girl. She'll know when she doesn't even feel wanted or attractive. Pastor Quinn, I don't remember being part of your church. I think we can both agree that Nichelle is probably the best thing that ever happened to you. It would be a shame if you lose her for good. Mom, do you have any proof that Vivian is a threat? I don't, but I'm not crazy, Isidore. Of course I know that you're not crazy, but I can't just fire Vivian without any actual evidence. Because if I do that, then she will file a lawsuit against Russo Jewelers and actually become a threat. Okay, then pay her what you think she would seek after. I'm not firing her. Besides, I've been in the business long enough to know a snake when I see one. That's exactly what your father said. You see? Seems like I learned from the best. Let me worry about it, especially when it seems like I have nothing to worry about. My intuition is much clearer than you think, Isidore. Alright, I'll come. You see, it wasn't that hard. Will Yvette also be there? It's pretty much a family event, so she'll be there. But Yvette doesn't even seem to like me either. Just give her time, Owen. Soon enough, she'll be fond of you just like I am. I'm just surprised that there's any hostility to begin with, especially after I tried to ensure that she received justice for what Max Russo did to her. Your mother would never let that happen. I know she wouldn't do it intentionally, Dad. But if she accidentally lets it slip to Owen Grant that I lied, then I doubt he'd be so nice. I feel like he'd feel betrayed and used. Don't put your mind in a dark place, Yvette. It won't do you any good. Are you saying that because you find yourself thinking the worst about Owen Grant? Because I know you don't like the guy. Then you can stop tripping, cause I ain't gonna lose Nichelle this time. And when she finds out what you do on your free time, what I do on my free time ain't something she needs to worry about. Or maybe you don't want her to know because you're worried about how she might react. You might want to reconsider how you spend your free time, if that's the case. Mom, I base my decisions on evidence, not feelings. You know that. I'm warning you, Isidore. If you don't do anything about that girl and get her out of the company, then it will hurt our empire. Whatever happens is something that you'll have to bear. I know. I didn't just hear you make that sort of suggestion, Clarice. Yvette is just worried that the family might be torn apart after the previous issue I had with Udell. I don't want to be responsible for breaking your home. You won't break up my home, Owen. The closer you and I become, Yvette will respect you once again. Just wait and see. You're such a good judge of character, Wanda. I would hope that Yvette would take after her smart, caring mother. I'm not worried about Owen. Maybe you should. Dad, you told Mom that you never stopped loving Elvira Russo. Owen Grant might try to use that against you. And I love your mother. Yvette, I never stopped loving Elvira, but she's not the one I married. I truly do hope that you never have to experience the sort of loss your mother and I experienced when we lost Elvira, but she's my past. Your mother is my present and my future. Mom pretty much told me that she would do whatever it takes to stay married to you because the two of us love each other, which is something that no one can ever take away from us. Fine, but just try to let Mom know how much you love her. I'm worried that Owen will try to sweep Mom off of her feet, and you can't let that happen, Dad. Who's stopping you? Unfortunately, I'm not sure if you can work well knowing that I'm preparing to make your life a living nightmare. I'm warning you, Isidore. If you don't do anything about that girl and get her out of the company, then it will hurt our empire. Whatever happens is something that you'll have to bear. I know. I didn't just hear you make that sort of suggestion, Clarice. How can I be happy when Mom is oblivious to the fact that her friendship with Owen Grant will land me in prison? How's your day been? My day, Wanda? Today I had to reassure our daughter that she wouldn't go to prison for lying to the police. What do you want, Mom? Are you aware that Pacho Torres is the new CEO of Global News Press? Quinlan told me since she works there. That's what she came all the way over here for. And it doesn't seem to concern you one bit, Ben? Isidore, give your mother and I a moment alone. Dad, please go easy on her. You know she's only looking out for the family. Just get out. I'm only gonna have a simple conversation with her. I don't understand you, Clarice. Why would you want to taint Vivian's future? What is all of this, Viv? When you told me that you became the new CEO of GMP, I thought I should throw you a celebration when you got here. Not only that, but we're also going to celebrate the fact that my plan of becoming CEO of Russell Jewelers is coming into effect. Hold up, Udell. How come it feels like you're being hostile with me over Yvette's fears? Maybe because she's afraid that your friendship with Owen will end up badly for her. I think she might have a point. I don't. Not that I don't acknowledge our daughter's concerns, but Owen stopped asking why Yvette dropped the charges against Max a long time ago. Besides, the closer I got to Owen, the less likely he'd start asking questions again. What if you two get so close to the point where you become so comfortable with Owen that you let it slip that Yvette lied? What do you think will happen? Don't you think it's a possibility that Owen might feel like you were only friends with him just to keep him from digging for the truth? Pacho being Quinlan's boss doesn't bother me at all. Why? Have you forgotten who Pacho's father is? Obviously I haven't. Did you forget that Pacho helped you take Adaku Denjuma down? Don't let him take credit for the work you did. I still can't believe you risked your life to rescue that tramp from someone as dangerous as Adaku Denjuma. It sounds like this visit is a waste of time, Mom. When have you ever known me to waste time, Ben? Back to what I was saying. You know that Devante seduced Elvira when she was alive. What does that have to do with anything? What if Devante's traits were passed down to Pacho? Instead, Pacho seduces his employees. I don't think I'm affecting Vivian's future at all. Since Isidore hired her, then she can easily find another place to work. It's not that simple, Clarice. How do you expect her to explain why she was let go from the company when she gets another job interview? Don't you think it would look bad on her when she would be let go for not being trustworthy when we both know that's not the case? That girl is not family, Lorenzo. You shouldn't be concerned for her the way that you are. You're the one who's more concerned about her than anyone else in this family. You really didn't have to do this. I would have loved to have treated you to dinner. We ain't supposed to be seen together, Pacho. I've got enough resources to set up a private dinner somewhere. That's right. Sometimes I forget what rich people have access to. Don't sweat it. Soon enough, you're gonna be rich once you take over Russo Jewelers. Can't wait to live the way I was always meant to live. And I did take your advice. Lorenzo finally sees how much of a heartless witch his precious wife can be. You're beginning to sound like a conspiracy theorist, Udell. Don't forget that many conspiracy theories turned out to be true. It would have made more sense for you to keep your distance from Owen the moment Yvette dropped the charges. And make Owen wonder why I stopped being his friend all of a sudden? Our daughter is afraid, Wanda. She comes first, not Owen. I know. Do you? Because if she did come first, then you would have stopped being friends with the man the moment Yvette came to you with her concerns. She has nothing to be concerned about. Besides, I already invited Owen to the Juneteenth event, so it's not like I could just take the invitation back out of the blue. You did what? This conversation is going nowhere. Please leave, Mom. Even if you kick me out, it won't change what's possible or even inevitable. What are you talking about? You know what? Never mind. I'm trying to make a fresh start with Quinlan, but you're not making it easy, which I'm sure makes you giddy inside. I'm not having fun like you think. Not when you take Quinlan's side over mine. I bet she painted me as the Wicked Witch from Oz when she told you I spoke with her at her job. Come again? You confronted Quinlan while she was working? What's the matter with you? The only thing I'm concerned about is Vivian's endgame and whether she'll succeed in it. Her endgame is to have a successful career, something she can achieve without bringing us down. And exactly how do you think she'll try to come after us, Clarice? I don't know, Lorenzo, nor do I want to find out. And you'll never have to find out since Vivian can be trusted. As if trusting certain people hasn't gotten you in trouble before. I'm glad to see that your plan is coming along. Soon enough, Clarice will be public enemy number 1 in her family. Once that happens, it would be the perfect time to go after her shares. You're going after Clarice's shares first? I would have assumed that you would go after Ben's shares since he has no interest in running the company. He still has some sort of loyalty to the rest of his family though. I'll go after his shares soon, but not until I have shares of my own. At the moment, Clarice is the one who's most likely to give me some of her shares to the company. How come? Answer me, Wanda. What were you thinking? I was thinking I should invite my friend to an event we're hosting together, as if I need to be reminded of your friendship for the millionth time. You can claim all you want that this family comes first to you. As for your actions, it says otherwise. So Quinlan didn't tell you I paid her a visit. What a surprise. What did you do to her? All I did was have a word with her since she didn't leave you like I asked. But her boss came to save her in the nick of time. Maybe that's why she didn't tell you, Ben. All right, Mom, get out. What are you referring to, Clarice? Don't pay it any mind. Are you referring to Devante Torres, since we didn't know he took Elvira's life for all these years? No. Then make it clear to me. All I need to make clear is that Vivian needs to go, Lorenzo. It sounds like Asador refused to fire her, so I won't either. Besides, if that intuition of yours was spot on, then maybe you could have kept Devante away from our daughter. If you are so gifted with reading other people, then Elvira would still be alive. Clarice is a socialite who ain't got a clue as to how to handle business on her own. When do you plan to go after her shares? Like I said, she needs to become public enemy number 1 in the Russo's eyes. Once she's broken, then she won't have no choice but to hand over her shares to me, regardless of how broken she is. Why would Clarice hand her shares over to a random person who isn't family? You're asking way too many questions, Pacho. Just trust that I know what I'm doing, and you just gotta be patient. Eventually, I'll answer all the questions you've got. I'm trying to make a fresh start with Quinlan, but you're not making it easy, which I'm sure makes you giddy inside. I'm not having fun like you think. Not when you take Quinlan's side over mine. I bet she painted me as the Wicked Witch from Oz when she told you I spoke with her at her job. I like you because you're a good listener. Dr. Murphy, you're cooler than you realize, and of course, you're hot. What's going on? Max, if our friendship is gonna continue, then you should listen when I tell you to drop it. Hey Ben, what's up? My mom stopped by my place the other day. Ugh, what does she have to complain about this time? She told me that she confronted you at work. How come you didn't tell me, Quinlan? Why did I have to hear from her? What do you want, Finnegan? We both have to get to work soon. I don't want to come to you about this, but it's best for you to know first, rather than Keith telling you. Telling me about what? I'm gonna ask Harley to move in with me. I'm so glad today's the last day of school. After 9 torturous months, I finally get to sleep in regularly. Ending the school year is a relief, JJ, but I'm glad that we both still get to see each other often for the summer. Hey Max. Hey Vanessa. What's the long face for? Summer vacation's about to start. The next time we set foot in this school, we'll be seniors. I see that you're not angry with me. Angry about what? The way I spoke with you recently. I wanted to let you know how sorry I am. I didn't say anything because I wasn't trying to create any more issues between you and your mom. Quinlan, when I asked you if anything crazy happened at work lately, you didn't mention it. When you asked me that question, I got held up. Something happened with Zeke and you never brought it up again. So I felt like it was best not to say anything. What if I did ask you? Would you have told me about my mom confronting you at your job? This is what you wanted me to potentially be late for work for? When you mentioned Keith, I thought it was something that should trouble me. I tried calling you, but you didn't answer, Terry, because I was occupied. Sure, use your substitute word for ignore. Besides, I deserve a call back. It's called respect. Please, Finnegan. You're the last person who should lecture anyone about respect. Bottom line, I'm not telling you about Harley moving in to get your permission. I'm only telling you out of the respect you don't think I have, Terry. Whatever. You want Harley to move in with you? Then go ahead. I don't care. Since Vanessa's gonna be working this summer, I'm glad I get to ask her for money instead of my parents. I get that Vanessa's your sister and that you knew her longer, but I don't see her giving you her money after hard-earned work. It's worth a shot. Do you know what else is worth a shot? Getting a job. You're 15, JJ. You should be able to apply. I'm not too sure how many places will hire a schizophrenic teenager. Maybe I'll just do some odd jobs here and there. Besides, I really need this summer to recharge after everything I've been through this school year. I understand the feeling. You don't have to apologize, Vanessa. We just became friends. You're entitled to your boundaries. Thanks for understanding. Most of all, thanks for being so forgiving. I can really see how much you're growing as a new believer. I've been reading the Bible and it talks about being a new creature after giving your life to Christ. I really want to be the sort of Christian God wants me to be. It's great to see that you're relying on God, Max. You're setting up a good example for me to follow. You've got a point. I most likely would have kept silent. Quinlan, I really don't want you keeping secrets from me. I get that, Ben, but it wasn't that I intended to keep any secrets from you. Can you understand that my intention was to avoid conflict? Okay, I believe that you didn't want to create any more problems, but I need to know for sure that I can trust you. On top of that, I need to be able to prove to other people that I can trust you. Are you serious? You really don't care if Harley moves into the house you and I shared for years? We're not together anymore, Finnegan. I signed the divorce papers, which means you can see any woman you want to see. Even with Keith staying with me on the days that I have him? Are you sure you won't cause any problems for me over the decision? If our son has an issue with your little girlfriend, then that's your mess to deal with. This could have been said in a text. Just get out. He's gone. It's about time. What do you want, Yvette? Since it's the last day of school, I wanted to make sure to leave on good terms between us. Shouldn't you be trying to make peace with Max? You remember him? The boy whose reputation you literally ruined? Max and I made peace, Julissa. Oh, really? Does that mean you admitted to him that you lied? Did you agree to clear his name? I should be following your example, Vanessa. You've been a born-again Christian longer than I have. Even people who have been saved for years have their battles. It's refreshing to see new Christians on fire for Christ. You mentioned something about facing battles. Does this have to do with whatever's been bothering you lately? Okay, I know that trusting me again wasn't easy, so I don't want to take it for granted. So how were you able to get rid of my mom? Didn't she tell you? Pacha was the one who kicked her out. But her boss came to save her in the nick of time. Maybe that's why she didn't tell you, Ben. Pacho doesn't sound like a terrible boss after all. He could do much better at his job. Are we good? Yeah, we're good. Talk to you later. What did Finnegan need to talk with you about? Trust me, Alan. You don't want to know. Thanks for letting me spend the night here, Dr. Murphy. I hope I don't come to regret it if your family starts asking questions. My grandmother would be the only one asking. As for my dad and everyone else, they couldn't care less where I spend my time outside of the estate, which means I'll have to come spend the night with you more often. I've got to admit, I didn't realize how much I missed laying next to someone each night until you stopped by. JJ, I didn't come here to speak with you about Max. I want to make sure that you and I don't come back to school with hostility. We won't have to be hostile towards one another, as long as we avoid each other, Yvette. You're a liar. Believe me, I don't hate you, but I can't be friends with you either. Not when you haven't proven to me that you're trustworthy. Enjoy your summer. Are you okay, Vanessa? You can pray, Max. Just pray for me. That wasn't smart, Vanessa. And you're a smart girl. You have no idea what you've just done. My day, Wanda? Today I had to reassure our daughter that she wouldn't go to prison for lying to the police. Thanks for letting me spend the night here, Dr. Murphy. I hope I don't come to regret it if your family starts asking questions. You're a liar. Believe me, I don't hate you, but I can't be friends with you either. Not when you haven't proven to me that you're trustworthy. Enjoy your summer. Are you okay, Vanessa? You can pray, Max. Just pray for me. That wasn't smart, Vanessa. And you're a smart girl. You have no idea what you've just done. How was your first day of work, Vanessa? I didn't expect to see you so soon after the school year ended. I definitely didn't expect to see you here. Can't say that I'm surprised to see you here alone. Did you only walk up to me just to criticize me, Yvette? There's actually something that I need to ask you. Thank you for setting up this dinner for me, Finnegan. Can you tell me what this is all about? I would love to tell you, Harley. I wanted you to have dinner with me because I have something to ask you. What's your question? Would you like to move in with me? I'm certainly glad. I have something to look forward to next week. Again, Wanda, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm glad to hear that you're excited. Why don't you seem as ecstatic as I am? I enjoyed my first day of work. Are you sure? I'm sure, Mom. Nobody gave me any problems while I was there. Then how come you look troubled right before we came in? It's my first job after all, Dad. I'm pretty much worn out. Laissez Leon Whipple. Vanessa just came back from work and you won't let her rest? Merci, Papa. Vanessa wouldn't hide anything from us, would she? Poppy's got a point. She's probably worn out after working for the first time. So, did the stalker finally leave you alone? What do you want to know, Yvette? Is there something going on between JJ and Yulissa? Why do you want to know? Just answer the question, Keith. I bet you wouldn't be asking me this if you didn't have a thing for JJ. You want me to move in with you? Where's this coming from, Finnegan? I love you. That's one thing. You love me too, right? Yes, I do love you. Then let's take the next step in our relationship, Harley. It's not like either of us are an old-fashioned couple. Definitely not, but it feels a bit too soon to move in with you. Is it? I mean, if you live with me, then you won't have to stay in Theodosius' palace anymore. On top of that, it would save you the hassle of looking for an apartment. I can afford either option. Most of all, I like things the way they are now. When would you consider it to be the best time for us to live under the same roof? I'm gonna guess that Udell didn't take it well when you told him that I'd be attending the event. Udell will never get over it. What will it take for me to get on Udell's good side? Honestly, I think he'd stop having issues with you if he stopped being my friend. You know what I've noticed? Udell never really had an issue with me until Yvette dropped the charges against Max Russo. JJ, I'm exhausted and I'd like to take a nap. I'll take that as confirmation that the stalker is still messing with you. Now that you're working, don't you think it would make you more vulnerable? I work at the mall, remember? I doubt the stalker will try to do anything in broad daylight in front of witnesses. At least you're admitting that you're being stalked. What about when you go to your car, Vanessa? Even if you are surrounded by people, someone who's crazy doesn't care about doing crazy things in front of an audience. Just forget it. Hold on. Look, JJ doesn't want you, Yvette. He doesn't trust you. That part is already clear to me. What's not clear is whether he wants to make Yulissa his girl. He hasn't mentioned anything to me. Look at you. You can get any guy you like, yet you only want JJ, and you're getting jealous of Yulissa. It's so good to see you, Alan. Is it? Looks like I'm interrupting something. You are, but your mother doesn't seem to mind. That's right. I don't mind at all. Is everything okay? I came here to let you know that I've calmed down, Mom. I no longer hold any resentment towards you for keeping from me that you knew Devante was behind my attack. Thank you, Alan. You shouldn't have been resentful in the first place. Not when your mother was trying to protect you. As if I need to be lectured by a home-wrecking scumbag. Is that it? Does Udell blame me for Yvette deciding to drop the charges? He doesn't blame you, Owen. Yvette made her decision. So what's with all the hostility then? Your husband is threatened by me, Wanda. Word of advice. Don't think about Udell's issues with you. It's not fair to you. You shouldn't have to be stuck in the middle of Udell's attitude towards me. Summer vacation just started. I'm not gonna let you make me paranoid for the remainder of it. I'm not trying to make you live in fear, Vanessa. In fact, I'm trying to encourage you to get help. If I get help, that would only make the stalker upset. Probably even more dangerous. More dangerous? Vanessa, has the stalker threatened you? I'm done talking, JJ. Maybe you're the one who's jealous, Keith. Jealous of what? Jealous of me, since you can't find a single girl to like you. Maybe I can get JJ to like you instead of Yulissa, but it's gonna cost you. What do you want? Alan, show some respect. Show respect? A home-wrecking scumbag is exactly what he is. Just ask his wife. Ask Heidi. Come on, Mom. You can do so much better than him. And you, officially, just ruined dinner. Just get out of here, Ellen. You don't get to tell me what to do. Besides, you should be the one walking away. Do you think I'm gonna let my mom be hurt by you, just like you hurt your wife? You're stepping on dangerous ground. Alan, don't you see that you're only making things worse? Let me worry about my relationship with Finnegan. Please, I'm the parent. You don't have to protect me from anything. Doesn't stop me from worrying about you, Mom. Especially when you have terrible taste in men. I should know. I'm a living reminder. I appreciate your concern, Owen, but you don't have to worry about me. I can't help it. I care about you, Wanda. I care about you a lot. And I care about you too. But I've known Udell for most of my life. I can handle him. Foolish me. How can I ever forget? You can handle anything because you're amazing. Talk to you later, Wanda. Soon enough, Clarice will be public enemy number 1 in her family. Once that happens, it would be the perfect time to go after her shares. Maybe I can get JJ to like you instead of Ulissa, but it's gonna cost you. What do you want? How can I ever forget? You can handle anything because you're amazing. Talk to you later, Wanda. What matters is that I won't go out cheating on her. Maybe you won't. But what you watch doesn't encourage you to remain faithful. Either way, do you think Nichelle would be okay with any of this? I see how close you and Ulissa Torres are getting. Yeah? That's what happens when friendships grow, Keith. Do you only see her as a friend? What is it, D.A. Russo? Juneteenth is right around the corner. I know that the Mitchells usually throw an event for it. Will you be attending? Why are you so concerned? It's not like you've been invited. You're right, I haven't. The real question is if you're wanted. Are you okay, Isidore? Have you found something more interesting than your job, Zeke? Where's this question even coming from? I'm only curious, JJ. That's all. Ulissa and I are friends. Just friends. I know that you and Ulissa are friends. But do you see her as more than a friend? Why do you want to know so bad, Keith? I'm clearly wanted at this event. Wanda invited me. What about Udell? When he showed up in this building, he didn't seem too happy with you, Owen. Is everything good between the two of you? D.A. Russo, do you find purpose in being a busybody? As district attorney, being a busybody is a part of the job description. So yes, Owen, you can say that it does give me purpose. Well, my personal life isn't something that concerns you, unless you're trying to use me to get to the Mitchells. I'm fine, Vivian. Besides, you're my intern, not my therapist. You can leave those files on my desk. Sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. You didn't. Thank you for getting me the files. You can get out now. Alan, do you know what's wrong with your dad today? Knowing my dad, he's probably still crying over the fact that Isabel Torres no longer wants him. Sorry, Mrs. Torres. My sister was calling me. I thought it was an emergency, but she just wanted to make sure I was doing what I was supposed to be doing since it's my first job and all. Okay, I let you off just this once. You know how well respected this hotel is. I don't want guests complaining about the service here. I understand. And I also need you to understand that just because you're dating the owner doesn't mean you get to do whatever you want. I expect the same thing out of you as I expect from other employees. Nichelle might own this hotel, but I'm still her boss. Got it. You won't see me slacking, Mrs. Torres. Let's just hope you can live up to your word. Already getting into trouble with my mom? I already told you, we're friends, JJ. It's natural for me to just be curious about this sort of stuff. My only focus is being a friend to you, Lissa, and not to ruin the friendship that we have. Okay, I'll leave it alone. See you later, JJ. JJ? What is it, Keith? It looks like someone left a letter for Vanessa. Shouldn't it be in a mailbox? Why is it on the floor? I'm not pursuing legal action against the Mitchells, remember? Even though Yvette deserves to face justice for what she did to Max. You mean Max deserves to face justice for what he did to Yvette. Instead, your son will be able to graduate high school next year, as Yvette is forced to spend another year running into her attacker on a daily basis. Yvette dropped the charges against my son, and Max is a good student. He deserves to graduate. Don't you think it was just too sudden for Yvette to drop the charges? Not at all. The allegations she made against my son were false. Because of her lies, Max was suffering to the point where he didn't want to live anymore. So if you think about it, Yvette dropped the charges out of guilt. Maybe Wanda is your friend because she knows how guilty her daughter is. And they can't be together because Isabel got rid of the baby she would have had if she carried it to term. Surprisingly, my father easily forgave her for getting rid of the bastard child. Those two might actually be together if it weren't for me. What do you mean? Even though my dad forgave Isabel for her decision and the fact that she kept it a secret for so many years, Isabel couldn't forgive my father. She couldn't forgive him for the simple fact that he agreed to help me take over Theodosius' palace. Does your dad just plan to give up on Isabel? I wouldn't call it getting into trouble. She just needed to make some things clear to me. Running this place is new to my mom, Zeke. She's been pretty tough on me too. Even though your mom's the new boss, you're still her daughter. And I'm the one who hurt you, Nichelle. How many times do I have to remind you that I forgave you? It's in the past now. My mom gets that and has no issue with us dating. That don't mean she trusts me. I don't even deserve to be trusted. What's going on? A note came in for you, Vanessa. Are you okay, Vanessa? Keith, did you see anyone out here? No, I didn't. What's going on? It doesn't matter. You can go now, Keith. Have a good rest of your day. What does the note say? Leave it alone, JJ. Then maybe I should tell mom and dad that you got a note you don't want to share. Fine. I can't believe that she would make a serious, wild accusation against Wanda. Just like her daughter made a serious, wild accusation against my son, Wanda is an honest person, D.A. Russo. As if her daughter had to have learned deceit from somewhere. Who knows if my dad is still pursuing Isabel? As a matter of fact, I don't even care. Not since his feelings cost me Theodosius' palace. I'm gonna do you a favor, big bro. Since I need you to stay distracted while I take over this place, I'm gonna see if I can get you back with the woman you love. Then use the job to convince my mom that you're somebody that she can trust. But since this is summer and with my mom being busy with her new job, that gives us a chance to spend more time together, even some time alone. I want to spend as much time with you as possible, Nichelle. But we should take things slow, for your sake. Oh, of course. Wow. You must think I'm desperate. Nah, never. Look, I'ma catch you later before your mom thinks we're both slacking. Then maybe I should tell mom and dad that you got a note you don't want to share. Fine. I'm gonna do you a favor, big bro. Since I need you to stay distracted while I take over this place, I'm gonna see if I can get you back with the woman you love. I know that you and Yulissa are friends, but do you see her as more than a friend? Why do you want to know so bad, Keith? The allegations she made against my son were false. Because of her lies, Max was suffering to the point where he didn't want to live anymore. So if you think about it, Yvette dropped the charges out of guilt. Maybe Wanda is your friend because she knows how guilty her daughter is. What's this new plan that you want to run with me, Viv? I'm trying to distract Isidore. Distract Isidore how? From what I know, he was never able to get over your mom. I think he should be encouraged to get her back. Absolutely not. Vanessa, I thought you would text me when you were done with work. Hey Max, how come you seem disinterested in speaking with me?
When someone don't help you through the rain, when feelings don't matter, and everything's nothing but a game.
Hey Yvette, did you find out from JJ whether he likes Yulissa or not?
Just know that I'm with you.
Why do you seem so upset, Owen? It's D.A. Russo. What has she done? She's got this crazy idea that you only wanted to be my friend because you're using me. And the reason you're using me is because Yvette allegedly lied about Max Russo. Have you forgotten how Isidore hurt my mother? Besides, I can't imagine using my mother as a pawn to achieve any sort of goal. I ain't trying to use your mother as a pawn, Pacho. It sure sounds like you are. Isidore is a ruthless man. If he finds out that I'm trying to take over the company, I'm done for, you know that. Which is why he needs a distraction. Then why can't you come up with some other way to distract him? 'Cause the only thing that matters to him other than Russo Jewelers is Isabel. Max, if I didn't want to speak with you, then I would have walked right past you, just like old times. But it doesn't seem like you're willing to carry out a conversation. Work exhausts me. When I'm finished, I'm just eager to get home and rest. Why don't you just take a small break before you hit the road? If it's okay with you, we can sit down for a meal. I'll pay. JJ didn't really answer my question. What am I supposed to do with that then? Acknowledge that he actually likes Yulissa. But you just told me that he wouldn't admit it. Exactly. If he didn't have a crush on Yulissa, then he would have said so outright. I spoke with him and the two of us made a deal. First things first, there is no way I'd ever agree to be your girlfriend with you being the way you are, Keith. Obviously, we're friends because the two of us clicked. I know you had no ill intentions on being my friend, Wanda. It just angers me that D.A. Russo spoke ill of you. It seems like she's trying to get under your skin. Don't give her that power, especially since she's your boss. Because she is my boss, I fear that she's trying to use me to get to your family. Even if Isidore still has these feelings for my mother, I'm not gonna let him manipulate her. Not when I'm head of the family. I say this out of respect, Pacho, but I think your mother would like to have that title. Since that's the case, your mother is much stronger than you give her credit for. There's no doubt in my mind that my mother's a strong woman, but I don't want to test her strength. Either two things could happen. When Isidore is encouraged to pursue her, then your mom can drop him. Or she'll decide for herself whether she wants to take back the only man she ever loved. My mom doesn't love that man. Not anymore. Then you ain't got nothing to worry about if Isidore tries to go after her. He just needs a nudge. That's all. I get that Isidore's choices upset your mother, but I don't think he'd ever want to intentionally hurt her. I could have paid for myself. You were given an option, Vanessa. Okay, you and Max. Thanks for being generous. I'm just trying to be a friend who wants to hang out with his friend. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm really sorry for acting crazy earlier. Let me just let my parents know that I'll be on my way soon. Who did you have to text while we're in the middle of a conversation? Don't worry about it. Look, you already know that we just need to pretend to be dating. I like someone else, remember? I get that we'd only be faking, but the point is to make people think that we're serious, which means that you need a serious change of style. You can't just change someone in a day. I can certainly change your looks. It's all about perception, Keith. Once you get your new look, people won't see you the same. All you need to do is make sure you act less weird than you are now. By the end of the summer, girls, like the one you've got a crush on, will be all over you. Even if Heidi is trying to come after my family, she's gonna come up with nothing against us. Maybe that's why Udell has an issue with me. I work too closely with Heidi. Owen, you really need to stop worrying about what Udell thinks about you. I really don't want to upset you, Wanda, but my mind is racing with possibilities. I'm sure D.A. Russo has nothing on you, but what about Udell? Did he do something which caused Yvette to drop the charges against Max Russo? Just stop. Essador only cares about Essador. He certainly didn't care about my mother when he and Alan planned to take over my family's hotel. But Essador didn't go through with it, which is why he and Alan can't stand one another at the moment. I don't want to see my mom get hurt again, Viv. Not after wasting years with a monster like my father. This ain't about hurting your mother, Pacho. This is about hurting Essador and Alan for coming after your family's business. You in? What are you looking for, Vanessa? I shouldn't have stayed. I really need to go, Max. Do you want me to walk to your car? No, it was great seeing you, Max. I really wish I could have stayed longer, but I can't. Goodbye. Oh, Vanessa, I really hope Yvette knows what she's doing. I hope this new look she's got for me will make you fall for me. I'll do whatever it takes to make you mine. Oh, and I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to snap at you like that. It's alright. You told me to leave it alone and I just kept running my mouth. You don't need to apologize. It's clear that you're concerned, but you don't need to be. Just keep in mind that our friendship is real. Will do. I'll head out now, but don't forget that you can come to me with anything. See you later, Wanda. As if I need to be lectured by a home-wrecking scumbag. No, it was great seeing you, Max. I really wish I could have stayed longer, but I can't. Goodbye. Oh, Vanessa, I really hope Yvette knows what she's doing. I hope this new look she's got for me will make you fall for me. I'll do whatever it takes to make you mine. Have you made up your mind about moving in here, Harley? I'm not sure if it's a good idea for me to move in when you and my son are enemies. How come you seem to be in such a bad mood today, Alan? It's your husband. He's getting on my nerves. Alright, Keith. How do you like your new look? I really feel different, Yvette. Any updates you'd like to share with me about the stalker? Did JJ mention anything to you? No, he didn't. What has the stalker done this time, Vanessa? Alan was the one who was hostile towards me. All I've been was cordial. I know that, Finnegan, but it's clear that Alan still only sees you as the man who almost destroyed his Uncle Gianni's marriage, which is actually true. But Gianni and Heidi are still together. Heidi is my past now, Harley. I'm focused on having a relationship with you. And there's no doubt in my mind that you want us to grow closer as a couple. But I can't move in with you while my son sees you as his enemy. Correction. You mean my ex-husband. What happened? The other day, I went to visit my mom at Theodosius' palace. Okay. While I'm speaking with my mother, making peace, Finnegan, who she was eating dinner with, decided to interject his thoughts. What did he say? It doesn't matter. What matters is that he's overstepped. While I was having a one-on-one conversation with my mom, the two of us went back and forth. It made my blood boil, Dr. Murphy. I don't want that man to hurt my mom the same way he hurt you. Your care for your mother is commendable, Alan, but she's a grown woman who knows what sort of man Finnegan is. Still, my mom is vulnerable to getting her heart broken. Luckily for you, different is a huge step up. Would you date me if this was your first time seeing me? Don't get ahead of yourself, Keeve. You're still a weirdo, which is why I chose this look for you. It's kinda gothic with a mix of attraction. Besides, I'm gonna have to allegedly date you in order to get into JJ's orbit. Since I've got this new look and since we're still going along with the plan, are we gonna take a picture together? Not at all. The stalker knows that I work at the mall. What? How? I wish I knew you, Lissa. This guy knows where you live and where you work. Don't you see that you're an open target? It's time to get the police involved before you get hurt. I'm not the one who the stalker wants to hurt, but the stalker does want to hurt someone. Who is it, Vanessa? Harley, don't you understand that Alan might never accept us as a couple? That may be true, but he certainly wouldn't accept us together if I just move in after what happened at Theodosius' palace the other day. How do you suggest that I make peace with your son? Just let Alan speak his mind without being defensive, no matter how hurtful his words might be. Your mother's a tough lady, which makes me wonder why she picks men like Finnegan and why she fell for men like my father. Her choosing your father is a mystery to me, but since I have experience with Finnegan, he must make your mother feel seen, protected, and even alive. The issue is that he only made you feel that way for a short amount of time. There's no denying that. What made you two fall out of love and despise each other? Why can't we take a photo together? We're supposed to pretend to be a couple. We are, but I'm not gonna make myself seem desperate. But you hook up with boys who already have girlfriends. Since I've got a complicated reputation, I'm not gonna let people think I was eager to jump into bed with you. In fact, the very thought makes me sick. For now, we're gonna focus on making you look presentable on social media. Just forget that I said anything. I can't just pretend like you didn't just tell me the stalker is targeting someone. For all we know, it's probably an empty threat. Vanessa, you don't know that for sure. My family has been through a lot lately. You know that. With worrying about JJ, and I hate to bring this up, Ulissa, but your father didn't make things easier for my family. I don't want to add to any more issues to the mix. What you're experiencing isn't your fault. Your family will understand that. Who did the stalker threaten? The stalker threatened Max. The note didn't say much, but it implied that the stalker was threatening to take Max's life. I don't feel comfortable letting Alan disrespect me. Neither do I. But I also don't want to play referee between two people who I really care about. Alright, I'll do my best not to have a shouting match with your son. Truth is, we grew further apart. Both of us were so focused on our careers that we lost focus of one another. For the remainder of our marriage, we only stayed together out of convenience. You deserved so much more, Dr. Murphy, which is why I decided to divorce Finnegan when I found out about him and Heidi. Since then, I vowed not to waste the time that I have left. just so we're on the same page. You don't see time with me as wasted time, do you? Certainly not. Now that we've got your social media page set up, I'll follow you. The story we'll tell people is that you posted pictures, I liked them, you reached out to me, and began dating. Got it? Got it. And in the meantime, you can look up tips online about how to impress a girl with your personality. Alright, soon enough we'll both get what we want. I've got some more instructions for you. Never kiss me. Understood? Don't you know that if anyone wants to get a gun, they can do so whether it be legal or illegal? Please, Vanessa, speak up before Max gets hurt. Again, what if these threats mean nothing? That means Max would have to deal with yet another trial. I don't want to be the one to worry him after everything he's gone through this year. You don't know who this stalker is. Most of all, you don't know what he's capable of. Because of that, Max could be in serious danger. It's better to be safe than sorry, Vanessa. Now, I'm not gonna sit around and do nothing with what you just told me. Either you tell your parents what's going on, or I'll call the police the moment I walk out of this house. You don't know who this stalker is. Most of all, you don't know what he's capable of. Because of that, Max could be in serious danger. It's better to be safe than sorry, Vanessa. Now, I'm not gonna sit around and do nothing with what you just told me. Either you tell your parents what's going on, or I'll call the police the moment I walk out of this house. I don't want to see my mom get hurt again, Viv. Not after wasting years with a monster like my father. This ain't about hurting your mother, Pacho. This is about hurting Isidore and Alan for coming after your family's business. You in? It's almost been a full month since you've been running this place, Ma. Do you finally feel adjusted to the role? All I'm gonna say is that your father made it seem so easy before he was sent to prison, which is why I've stuck around to help you out. If you ask me, I think you're doing a magnificent job. Now, you don't have men like Father and Isidore distracting you from your work. Thank you for getting my coffee, Vivian. You're welcome, Mr. Russo. And I can't thank you enough for appreciating the work that I do here. Of course. Do you feel like your work isn't being appreciated? Not as much as you do. Isidore claims to be appreciative, but his attitude... Never mind. Hold on. What's going on with Isidore? It's just that, what exactly do you remember about his relationship with Isabel Torres? Keith? Is that you? Yeah, Dad. It's me. I almost had a heart attack. You're so unrecognizable. Is that a bad thing? Not at all, son. I like what you did with your hair and your entire wardrobe. What did you need to talk with us about, Vanessa? Mom, Dad, I found out who sent me the rose a month ago. Pacho, why did you mention Isidore? Because, Ma, if Isidore had his way, then you wouldn't be running this hotel and Nichelle wouldn't be the owner. It must have hurt knowing what he tried to do. Yes, it did hurt. But I've been wondering, Ma, did it hurt because he tried to take over Theodosius' palace? Or did it hurt because he betrayed your trust since you loved him? Why are you interested in knowing about Isidore's prior relationship with Isabel Torres? Alan noticed that Isidore seemed to be in a bad mood. He expressed to me that it might have something to do with Isabel. I'll admit, Isidore was definitely the happiest when he was with Isabel all of those years ago. Sure, he was in pain, but he was happy. If he was as happy as you say, then why did he and Isabel end their relationship? Isidore never went into detail. My guess was that Isabel didn't appreciate his ambitious drive. But what they had is in the past, especially since it came out that Isabel got rid of the baby she would have had with Isidore. Because of this, Clarice wants Isabel to stay far away from him. Do you really think I look cool, Dad? You certainly look cooler than you did before. What a surprise. My son, my only son, actually cares about his appearance. It's a miracle. What made you go for a new look, Eve? Come on, Dad. Don't do that. I want to know. Well, there's this. I want a girl to notice me. A girl? What girl? Who sent you the rose? I don't know exactly who it was. Wait a minute. Now I'm confused. Didn't you just tell us that you found out? The thing is that I'm learning more about this individual. He's been sending me texts. What sort of texts? Romantic ones. I've been ignoring them though. How did this person get your number? I don't know, Mom, but the texts became less romantic. Actually, they grew dark and concerning. Why are you suddenly concerned about my love life? It's not your love life that concerns me, Ma. It's you. You know my concern for you isn't sudden. There's nothing you need to concern yourself with. I'm in the process of divorcing your father, and I'm focused on making sure Theodosius' palace runs smoothly for your sister to run someday. Let me enjoy this new stage of my life in peace. So you're enjoying being single right now? Does this mean you won't let Isidore back into your life? Clarice doesn't want Isidore and Isabel together? Shouldn't that be Isidore and Isabel's choice to make? My wife has lost so much throughout her life. The fact that she could have had another grandchild broke her heart. Is she not content with having Alan, Ben, and Max as her only grandchildren? She loves all of her grandsons, but having more family isn't something that Clarice would have minded. Like I said, Alan suggests that Isidore hadn't let Isabel go. Do you think he might be right? I wonder why you and my son are talking about me behind my back. Spit it out, Keith. What girl do you have your eye on? Didn't I already tell you enough, Dad? Fine, I'll leave it alone. For now. I'm just glad that you have other interests than staying home all of the time and playing video games. I knew you would grow out of it. Did you? Did you actually think this new look will get girls to notice me? I would be surprised if it didn't. What do you mean the texts have gotten darker, Vanessa? I texted this guy back, telling him that I wasn't interested. When he got the text, he expressed how angry he was with me. Oh my goodness. Did this boy threaten you? I'm not the one he threatened. This guy, he threatened Max. Threatened Max how? He sent a note here the other day and made it seem like he wanted to take Max's life. Vanessa, do you still have the note? I threw it away when I got it. You shouldn't have done that. A threat like that is serious, Vanessa. You should have kept it for the police to look at. Don't you understand how serious this is? Besides, why does this guy want to hurt Max to begin with? I don't know why he wants to hurt Max. Maybe jealousy? But Max and I aren't even dating, so there's nothing to be jealous about. Your mother's right. This is very serious. Why didn't you tell us about this earlier on? Because I didn't think it was that serious. I thought that this guy would just leave me alone, but he didn't. The last thing I wanted to do was put our family through something else. How many times do your father and I have to remind you and your brother that you two are not responsible for keeping this family safe? Your father and I were entrusted by God to keep you both safe. And that's exactly what we'll do. We're gonna put an end to all of this now. What Isidore did was unforgivable. That's right. But what about the Russos? They feel like you terminating your pregnancy back in the day is unforgivable too. I can't believe you would throw that in my face, Pacho. You know how much I regret my decision. My point isn't to hurt you, Ma. What I'm trying to say is that Isidore forgave you for your choice, even though I don't think you should be looked down upon to begin with. Since he forgave you, do you think there's a chance that you could forgive Isidore? I'm not discussing this any further. Calm down, Isidore. Vivian only wanted to make sure that she didn't offend you the other day. I would appreciate it if I could be approached personally instead of being spoken about to my family. I'm sorry, Isidore. From now on, I'll make sure to go to you directly. You've got an intern with a good heart. Don't be too hard on her, especially in a business full of vultures. But I'm beginning to wonder if she and Ellen do have a point. Are you still in love with Isabel? Whether I am or not, she'll never forgive me. It's not fair, Isidore. Isabel has no right to hold on to any bitterness towards you when she kept a major secret from you for years. A secret that you had every right to know about. Alright, Yvette, let's see if your advice can get me pointers. I'll see what this forum's all about, but instead of seeing how guys get girls, I'll try to figure out why girls seem to turn guys away. Did you do it, Vanessa? Did you tell your parents about the stalker? Yeah, Ulissa, I told them about the stalker. They're gonna get the police involved and try to put an end to all of it. Stalker? How dare you, Vanessa? Everything I've done was for you to notice me, for you to love me. You take my love as something that's ugly. I love you, Vanessa, but you're ungrateful. So ungrateful. Yeah, Ulissa, I told them about the stalker. They're gonna get the police involved and try to put an end to all of it. Stalker? How dare you, Vanessa? Everything I've done was for you to notice me, for you to love me. Since he forgave you, do you think there's a chance that you could forgive Isidore? I'm not discussing this any further. I really don't want to upset you, Wanda, but my mind is racing with possibilities. I'm sure D.A. Russo has nothing on you, but what about Udell? Did he do something which caused Yvette to drop the charges against Max Russo? Just stop. Udell and Wanda did good setting up this Juneteenth event on the beachfront. Feels weird being at Theodosius' palace after everything that happened with Devante. I'm just relieved that man is in prison where he belongs. Just like Vanessa's stalker needs to be put away. Jeremiah, it troubles me that this person is still out there. Having Vanessa out here is making me nervous. And the police couldn't even track where the text even came from? No, it concerns me that the stalker is able to stay low. What's weird is that when the police were called, he stopped reaching out. Hey guys. Viv, it's really great to see you here. When I heard that Theodosius' palace was holding a Juneteenth festival, I couldn't pass it up. Sorry I didn't send you an invite. Since you've got plans in regards to Russo Jewelers, I wasn't sure if you would want to be seen with me in public. Since I know about the Russos' issues with the Mitchells at the moment, I knew the Russos wouldn't be here. Besides, I gotta celebrate my birthday somehow. Looks like things are running smoothly, Udell. That's right. I see people sharing posts of the missing people and the spoken word poets are ready to perform. Juneteenth at Theodosius' palace looks like a success. You and I make a great team. Hey, Wanda. Owen, I'm so glad you made it. We're here because Udell invited us and we owe him a lot. Besides, as long as Vanessa is with us, she's safe. Tande Mariu. Don't let this moon fool drive you crazy. I'll try not to, Papa, but still, I can't believe that Vanessa would hide something like this from us. At least, she told us, Shelly. Praise God she told us before any damage was done. It's the thought that she could have been hurt is what troubles me. I'm glad I get to see your new look in person. I couldn't believe it when I saw it on Instagram. What do you guys think? It's cool, Keith. Do you like it, Vanessa? I agree with JJ. This new look suits you. You really like it? I really appreciate it. What made you change your look? Happy birthday, Viv. Thanks, Pacho. You sure know how to celebrate turning 21 for someone who doesn't look a day over 18. For your information, I'm 20. Did anyone ever tell you that you seem mature for your age? I really wasn't given a chance. Most girls get to be adored by their daddies, especially on their birthdays. As for me, he wasn't around. Did your father pass away? Nah, he's still alive and kicking. My mama was forced to raise me on her own. So, you know exactly who your father is. Pacho, would you like to introduce me to your friend here? I really like the setup you have here. Thank you, Owen. Aren't you gonna appreciate Owen's compliment? No wonder, I won't. Udell, look, I didn't show up to cause any trouble. I actually think you did. When you accepted my wife's invitation, you should have known that it wouldn't have been a good idea. Nothing happened to Vanessa, and nothing will happen. The police are investigating and we'll find out who's been obsessed with her. But we don't even have an idea as to who it is. Someone out there wants to hurt our baby. I don't like that the police haven't caught this guy, but remember, Vanessa isn't the one the stalker wants to hurt. It's Max. That doesn't make me feel any better. This lunatic wants our daughter. I just needed a change, Ulissa. All of a sudden, you felt the need to change? I've known you for a long time, Keith. Fashion didn't seem like anything you had any interest in. Keith, you don't have to explain anything to us. As long as you like how you look, then that's all that matters. But I've got one question for you. Why are you here? He's here because I told him he could come. Hello, Mrs. Torres. My name is Vivian Jones. Nice to meet you, Vivian. How do you know my son? You wouldn't believe it if I told you. She was my DoorDash delivery person. Pacho, are you telling me that you were being unprofessional and asked your delivery person for her number? Don't worry, Mrs. Torres. I didn't give my number up that easily. Vivian agreed to give me her number only if I ran into her again. Luckily, we did run into each other again, and we've been friends ever since. This is the first time I've met you, but something about you seems so familiar. I've got a confession to make. I was actually at your husband's trial. The reason I was there was to support the Russo family. I worked for Isidore Russo at Russo Jewelers. Udell, your wife invited me here. I accepted her invitation because the two of us are friends. Today's your lucky day, Owen. There are a number of people here. Maybe you can make some new friends. Alright, Udell, you said enough. No, I haven't, Wanda. Actually, I think Owen has some more to say. What are you talking about? Tell her, Owen. Tell Wanda why you're so focused on making her your only friend at this event. I understand that you're frustrated, Shelly. So am I. Honestly, I would rather someone actually have a normal crush on Vanessa. Just like how Max had a crush on her. Keyword, had. That boy wasn't saved yet, but I do see that he wasn't a danger to our daughter. But since Max just got saved, that boy has a lot of growing up to do before he even thinks about pursuing Vanessa again. Keith, you and Yvette are friendly? You can say that. I was scrolling through Instagram and spotted his profile picture. I liked his photo and commented. Then he reached out to me. Really, Yvette and I enjoyed speaking with each other. I knew her parents were throwing this event and asked if I could be here. Keith, I don't want to be the sort of person to tell you what to do, but are you sure that you want to be Yvette's friend? She's not known to be trustworthy, among other things. What's been said about Yvette isn't the sort of girl that I know. The two of us click and we want to be friends. Oh, when you told me that you DoorDash, I didn't expect. I would have assumed that Russo Jewelers would pay their employees a bit more. I'm really just an intern, Mrs. Torres. And at the moment, the economy we're living in is pretty rough. But I've gotten to know the family more. Esador's son, Alan, told me how you and Esador share history together. And that's all it is. History. It was nice meeting you, Vivian. It's great to see my son making friends. Beautiful friends. Enjoy your time here. Viv, all I ask is that you don't try to push my mom into Esador's arms. I won't be the one pushing Pacho. Clarice will. Owen, you don't have to sink down to my husband's level. Wanda, wait. Clearly, Udell doesn't want me here. I can go. Please don't. I'll try to talk some sense into my husband. The last thing I want is for you to waste your time coming here. While I speak with Udell, you can try to make some friends here. I promise to catch up with you. Okay, I'll stick around for your sake. I'll be waiting for you, Wanda. Viv, all I ask is that you don't try to push my mom into Esador's arms. I won't be the one pushing Pacho. Clarice will. It concerns me that the stalker is able to stay low. What's weird is that when the police were called, he stopped reaching out. I'll be waiting for you, Wanda. You two have something to tell me? Yes, and it's very important. What's this about? It's about Vanessa Dorval. Did you notice how worried Vanessa looked when she believed that you and I were actually friends? She wasn't worried out of jealousy, Keith. The only reason why she's worried is because her little brother's friend is involved with someone she considers to be a slut. Hey, Wanda. Owen, what are you doing here? I came to try and make things clear. Hopefully my actions the other day didn't offend you or make you uncomfortable. Alan, wait up. What is it, Vivian? I've got a favor to ask of you. What sort of favor? Do you think you can speak with your grandmother about your father? What's going on with Vanessa? Is she okay? She's safe, but I don't think she's okay. What's that supposed to mean, Mom? There's no easy way to say this, but Vanessa seems to be in trouble. She's being stalked, Max. Stalked? Since when? Just let us finish speaking, Max. Not only is she being stalked, but she seemed to be in danger as well. But Vanessa liked my new look. Of course she does. Anyone with sense can see that you look better now than you did before. I still have yet to hear you say thank you. You didn't thank me either, Yvette. Thank you for what? Has JJ reached out to me since we told other people the two of us were friends? You didn't offend me, Owen. Then how come you haven't responded to any of my texts? It's been a busy day. Sorry, Wanda, but it's hard for me to believe you. Because if you're as busy as you claim, then you would have told me to get out of your office. Alright, I'll admit it. I'm embarrassed, Owen. I'm embarrassed by Udell's actions the other day. You have nothing to be embarrassed of. What exactly about my dad do you want me to talk with my grandmother about? The other day, I spoke with your grandfather. He informed me that Clarice doesn't want Esador to get back with Isabel. My grandmother sure has a knack of seeing sense. But Esador is still in love with Isabel. Even you said it. Your grandmother's disapproval might be a reason as to why Esador won't pursue the woman he loves. I ask this with the utmost respect, Vivian, but why do you care? Why would I be in any danger when Vanessa's the one being stalked? Because her stalker made threats against you, a serious threat to end your life. How come? Do you even know who this stalker is? No, but the police are looking into it. Since we don't know who the stalker is, and since the stalker isn't in custody, I think it's best that you keep your distance from Vanessa. So what JJ didn't reach out to you? Since he thinks the two of us are friends, that gives you a better chance with him than you did before. Let me ask you something, Keith. Did Vanessa reach out to you since she was so amazed with your new look? No, she didn't. I didn't think so. Guess that means the two of us still have a lot of work to do. Who are you on the phone with? I feel embarrassed. When I invited you, even though I knew how Udell felt, I really thought he would be respectful, especially in a public place. The man who disrespected you was not the man I married. Maybe he always has been. Huh? When you married Udell, you married a man who had his heart broken by his first love, or should I say his only true love. I love Udell. I would never go out of my way to hurt him. Are you sure, Wanda? Our feelings aren't something that we can control. Are you sure you wouldn't unintentionally hurt Udell by falling for someone else? I care because your dad hasn't seemed to have gotten better since the last time I told you about him. It's nice that you care about my dad, Vivian. Wish I could say the same. I get that you and your dad have your issues, but you gotta remember that my internship is only temporary. I would like to leave this company with happy memories, with no stress. What am I supposed to ask my grandmother? I get that neither you nor Clarice want Isidore with Isabel, but all I ask is that you assure your father that you won't get in his way if he decides to pursue Isabel. Come on, Mom. Please, don't make me have to stay away from Vanessa. It's for your own safety, Max. But she works at the same mall that I work at. On top of that, Vanessa and I attend the same church now. This isn't forever. It's until we can catch this stalker. Vanessa's my friend. What would I look like abandoning her in a tough time like this? He's got a point, Heidi. Max and Vanessa have gotten along after going through a rough patch. I think that as long as they're both in a public place, then they'll be fine. I was on the phone with a friend. Is this a friend you made after you changed your look? I've made friends before this new look, Mom. The only friend you ever mentioned was JJ Dorval. If it was JJ, then you would have just said no. Keeve, I have no issue with you changing a few things about your appearance. What I don't want you to do is keep on changing to impress anyone. As long as you stay true to yourself, then the right people will come into your life. Why should I take your advice since you're clearly all alone? I don't understand what you're asking me, Owen. Wanda, I'm sorry for catching you off guard on Juneteenth. Ever since then, I couldn't get you out of my mind. Don't you feel the same way? I love Udell. That's not what I asked. I love my husband. And I love you. Whether my grandmother and I approve or not, Isabel is never gonna forgive my dad for agreeing to help me take over Theodosius's palace. Maybe that's the case, but I believe that your dad should be able to at least try to win Isabel's forgiveness without any interference. Please, Alan. How could I say no to you, Vivian? Thank you. And we've known each other for a minute. It's okay for you to call me Viv. Can you also keep my name out of it if you speak with your dad and your grandma? My lips are sealed. See you later, Viv. Sucker. Okay, I believe that you didn't want to create any more problems, but I need to know for sure that I can trust you. On top of that, I need to be able to prove to other people that I can trust you. Wow, you must think I'm desperate. Nah, never. Look, I'ma catch you later before your mom thinks we're both slacking. Not only is she being stalked, but she seemed to be in danger as well. Vanessa, I've been meaning to speak with you. You've got my number. Why couldn't you call me? Because what we need to talk about can't be discussed over the phone. How come you didn't tell me that you were being stalked? Why do you seem so down today? I'm not feeling down, Ulissa. However you're feeling, is Zeke the reason for it? I don't know what you're watching, but I hope that you listen to my advice. Pacho Torres, it's nice seeing you today. Hopefully I can say the same for you, D.A. Russo, as long as you don't plan to cause any problems in my family's hotel. Of course, I won't cause any issues for you, especially if your favorite employee isn't around. I didn't think you needed to know, Max. Can't say that I agree. My mom told me that your stalker threatened to end my life. Now you know. So how come you would take such a huge risk being seen with me? Because I don't think I would be a good friend if I ignored you while you're going through such a tough time. It's only been a month since Zeke and I got back together. Why do you want to see the worst of him so early? Can you blame me? Even when I knew something was off with him, you didn't listen. He's changed, Ulissa. In fact, he's changed a lot. How exactly has Zeke changed? I pay my own phone bill, remember? What I watch on my phone is my business. Would you tell Nichelle the same thing? You ain't got nothing better to do than worry about my relationship, Quinn. Since I'm still your older sister, it gives me every reason to worry. Just like you, I care if you're at risk of losing someone who means a lot to you. Just make your point already. My point is, Zeke, that you should either stop watching X-rated videos or that you should tell Nichelle what you enjoy doing on your free time. After what you just said, it doesn't sound like you're trying to avoid trouble at all. I also don't hear you denying that Quinlan is your favorite employee. Quinlan is certainly one of my hardest working employees. She also filled me in on the issue you have with her. Now you know that I can't stand the girl. Since Quinlan has made powerful enemies, are you gonna always swoop in to her rescue? I really appreciate that you're trying to be a good friend, Max. Sorry that I haven't been a good friend to you by keeping this from you. You told me that I didn't need to know. Sounds like there's another reason as to why you didn't let me in. It's just that you've endured so much earlier this year. With Yvette's allegations, you ending up in the hospital and then going into rehab, I didn't want to be the reason why you had to suffer even more. This year, the best thing also happened to me. I gave my life to Jesus. Because of that, I don't have to suffer alone. He can help me through anything. On top of that, God made sure that He gave me a good friend in you, Vanessa. Even though I wish you wouldn't have kept this from me, I understand that you weren't doing it to hurt me. Zeke wants to make sure that we take things slow this time. Unlike before when he convinced you to give up your virginity all the while knowing he cheated on you with Yvette, I really hope that you wait until marriage this time around, Nichelle. Living my life according to an ancient book isn't my style, Ulissa, but Zeke feels like we don't have to rush into anything like before. Is it because he has the highest respect for you or because he's getting his needs met somewhere else? I ain't got nothing to prove to you, Quinn. You're right. But luckily for you, I'm not asking you to prove anything. Are you even able to stop watching these videos? What are you even saying? It ain't like I'm under some sort of mind control. You'd be surprised, Zeke. It's easy for anyone to become addicted to watching X-rated videos. As the CEO of 2 different companies, I'll do whatever it takes to protect any of my employees. And you honestly feel comfortable having a homewrecker as an employee? Quinlan told you that she had an affair with my husband, right? I heard whispers of her being with Gianni, but it looks like Gianni chose you, which means that Quinlan didn't wreck your home at all. As long as she stays with my son, then she poses a danger to my home. Pacho, you can't deny that Quinlan is one beautiful woman. There you go, forgiving me when I don't deserve it. None of us really deserve to be forgiven, but God forgives when we ask Him to. Are you alright, Vanessa? This has to be the worst summer I've ever had. When this guy started texting me, I just thought it would go away. Instead, I was being stupid and made things worse. Because I did nothing, it puts you in danger, Max. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's okay, Vanessa. We're gonna find out who this is and make him stop. We'll figure something out. You're a dead man, Max Russo. A dead man. I trust Zeke. If you don't trust him, Yulissa, then that's your problem. He wouldn't do anything to destroy what we have. Nichelle, there's a difference between loving someone and trusting them. All I ask is that you think long and hard as to why he wants to take things slow with you. So I'm an addict now, and you're supposed to be the smart one, Quinn. You sure have experience with addicts since you used to sell substances to them. Are you telling me that you don't see the similarities between you and them? I ain't a part of that life no more. I'd like to forget about it. Ready to watch a bunch of movies with me? Yeah, Ben. I'll grab the popcorn. Sure, Quinlan's a beautiful woman. What of it? Your father could never resist a beautiful woman. He also couldn't commit either. What sort of qualities do you think you and your father share, Pacho? Enjoy your meal, D.A. Russo. I love my husband, and I love you. Can you also keep my name out of it if you speak with your dad and your grandma? My lips are sealed. Your father could never resist a beautiful woman. He also couldn't commit either. What sort of qualities do you think you and your father share, Pacho? It's okay, Vanessa. We're gonna find out who this is and make him stop. We'll figure something out. You're a dead man, Max Russo. A dead man. What is it you needed to ask me, Alan? It's about Dad. What's going on with your father? As you know, Nona, he's single and he was once with Isabel Torres. But it's clear that you have a grudge against her. Do you plan to have a grudge against her forever? Did Mom and Dad speak with you? I haven't really spoken to them lately, so they haven't reached out. Surprisingly. What's going on, Max? It's about Vanessa. She's in trouble, Ben, and I need your help. Do you have something you need me to report on, Pacho? I didn't call you in my office for you to cover a huge story. Your personal business is getting in the way of this business, Quinlan. What are you talking about? How come D.A. Russo is insinuating that I'm trying to pursue you? Just the man I wanted to see. I can tell. What's got you in such a good mood? Seeing you. Since I am in such a good mood, I want to do something special for you. Maybe I should cook you a special dinner and prepare sweet potato pie for dessert. Sweet potato pie, my favorite. Okay, spill it, Wanda. Why are you so eager to spoil me? Alan, I understand that you've always been silly, but I really hoped that you would grow out of it and stop asking me silly questions. What's so silly about it, Nona? The Torres family has taken so much from ours. Devante took your tia Elvira away from me. Isabel got rid of her child, your father's child. I get being mad at Devante, but as for my unborn older sibling, we can't put a face to them. What point are you trying to make? Dad forgave Isabel for terminating the pregnancy all those years ago. What would you do if Dad tried to win Isabel's forgiveness? And now Vanessa's stalker wants to hurt you? Do you still have feelings for her? Vanessa and I are friends, Ben. I want her to be okay. Max, I also want you to be safe too. Whoever is stalking you sees you as a threat. Now we just need to find out who this person is. Alright, first things first, do you know anyone who would want to hurt you? I have no idea what you're talking about, Pacho. Long story short, D.A. Russo came by Theodosius' palace the other day, wondering if I was gonna tempt you or if you were gonna tempt me. I'm in a committed relationship and you're my boss. Just don't pay her any attention. Only if it were that simple. Since I am your boss, and she tells other people about this, it would look bad on me, which also means it would look bad for Global News Press. I'm still digging this company out of a scandalous hole. The last thing I need is for GNP to be dug into any more scandal. Do you mind if I show my husband how much I love him? Of course I don't want to. I know how much you love me and I love you too. But you can't deny that things have been tense between the two of us lately. Okay, you're right, Udell. I can't deny that. But after calming down, I understand that you act the way you do because of how much you care. Thank you for understanding, but I need to apologize. I've come to realize that I was doing too much during the Juneteenth event. Where is all of this coming from, Alan? Dad has been miserable lately, Nona. I'm sure that he's miserable because Isabel no longer wants him. They have been apart for years. Your father will survive. Are you sure about that? Yeah, my dad and Isabel have been apart before I was even born, but it's clear that Dad never stopped loving her. I don't think he ever will stop. In fact, I don't think I would even exist if Isabel did carry that baby to term. If she didn't terminate the pregnancy, then you would be without your favorite grandson. Alan, that is enough. Your father is better off without that wretched woman. That's final. Isabel is far from wretched, Mom, and you know that. I wish I could think of someone who would want to hurt me, Ben, but I can't. What about the people who tormented you online when Yvette lied about what you did to her? I still don't even know who the person or people even were who harassed me. Besides, why would they want to stalk Vanessa? You're thinking too much about this. Heidi will only make herself look stupid if she tries to make the whole world think you and I have a thing for each other. Would she? What are you trying to say, Pacho? You and Gianni had a thing for each other, did you not? What happened between Gianni and I is in the past. I'm with Ben now. Even if that's the case, I don't appreciate D.A. Russo giving me these sort of problems so early on in my position in this company. How do you plan to handle it? Are you gonna fire me? You don't have to apologize, Udell. I should. It was an important day and we were supposed to focus on spreading awareness about missing people. Instead, I caused you discomfort by exchanging words with Owen when I should have just ignored him. Guess what? We did provide exposure for the missing people and their families were appreciative. If anyone should be apologizing, it should be me. I'm the one who invited Owen, knowing that you had an issue with him, not caring how it would affect you. Today's a new day, Wanda. Let's focus on that. Let me remind you, Mom. Isabel regrets terminating the pregnancy. In fact, she thought she was doing the right thing until she learned that her marriage wasn't worth saving. She can't seem to forgive herself. But I forgave her. You should forgive her too. Have you ever asked me to forgive Devante? Isabel is nothing like that man. The choices they made reached to the same outcome. 2 members of this family are not here because of them, Esador. Like I told you, Isabel regrets her decision. She's not a monster. I disagree. It's unnatural for a woman to get rid of her own child. And Isabel never stopped thinking about that child. The child she knew she would have loved because she loved me and couldn't love Devante the same way. Not even close. People like Vanessa Stalker tend not to be sensible, Max. If you don't know who bullied you online, then there's still a chance this person could be the same person who stalked Vanessa. Alright, so what's your first step? I'll try to come up with one. But right now, what's clear to me is that this is someone who you and Vanessa both know personally. Chill out, Quinlan. Your job is still safe. Here's the issue. Heidi won't leave me alone unless I leave Ben. Do you want me to break up with the man I love? Your love life is the least of my worries. It's clear that I've been caught in the crossfire between your battle with Heidi. My warning to you is that if I keep on getting hit, then I'll push back with full force, and I'm not sure if it will end well for you. Are you gonna answer that? I don't need to. Not when I'm gonna cook up your favorite meal. There's still enough time for that. Do what you gotta do. I'll be waiting. What's going on, Owen? Wanda, I've been trying to reach you ever since the event at Theodosius' palace. How come you haven't responded back? I've been busy. Are you sure that's it? Honestly, I really don't have time to discuss it right now. I've got this special dinner planned for Udell and I really need to start preparing. I'll get back to you when I can. It's clear that I've been caught in the crossfire between your battle with Heidi. My warning to you is that if I keep on getting hit, then I'll push back with full force, and I'm not sure if it will end well for you. It's unnatural for a woman to get rid of her own child. And Isabel never stopped thinking about that child. The child she knew she would have loved because she loved me and couldn't love Devante the same way. Not even close. Okay, spill it, Wanda. Why are you so eager to spoil me? Who is it? It's me. Owen, I really wish you would have called first. I can't have visitors. You never had an issue with me showing up unannounced before. What's so different about it now, Wanda? Miss Franklin, are you here to report a crime or to tell me that you finally spared my son of a miserable life with you? A crime has been committed, Mrs. Rousseau. A crime you committed. How come you're trying to drag Pacho, my boss, into our issues? What are you so irritated about, Pacho? It's D.A. Russo. That woman is trying to ruin my reputation. Esador, I thought I told you that you weren't welcome here. I know that I'm the last person you want to see, but I'm here to plead my case. It won't take long, Isabel, I promise. When it comes to running a business, every day is different. I get that, but it doesn't explain why I feel this coldness from you. I also felt it when I called you the other day. I don't know what you're talking about, Owen. If I'm wrong, then I'll admit it. My hope is that you're being honest with me and being honest with yourself. I didn't involve Pacho into our issues at all. Seems like you forgot that he involved himself into it. Pacho had every right to ask you to leave the GNP building. It's his building, and you were unwelcomed. Just like you're unwelcomed in my office, Miss Franklin. Besides, why are you so concerned about a private conversation that I had with your boss? I'm concerned because my boss informed me that you were trying to insinuate that there was something going on between the two of us. Why would D.A. Russo try and ruin your reputation? What have you ever done to her? Nothing. But Quinlan Franklin has done something to her. When I began working at Russo Jewelers, I heard people talking about how Gianni was going to leave Heidi for Quinlan. Even though Gianni decided to stay with Heidi, I guess the district attorney couldn't get over the fact that your employee almost broke up her marriage. But anyways, what's this got to do with your reputation? Heidi is trying to break up Ben and Quinlan's relationship and wants to use me to do it. Do you got a thing for your talented employee? I'm a professional businessman, Viv. I don't sleep with employees or business partners. Your reputation clearly means a lot to you. Maybe you should give D.A. Russo a taste of her own medicine and ruin her reputation instead. You don't need to plead your case, Isidore. Going after my children's inheritance was the final straw. Agreeing to help Alan take over Theodosius' palace wasn't my idea of hurting you or your kids. My goal was to hurt Devante. At the time, I just discovered that he took my sister's life. I wasn't seeing straight. Except if you succeeded in your plans, then Devante wouldn't have been the only one hurt. I realized that, which is why I decided not to go through with the takeover. If you supposedly saw the light, then why didn't you tell me yourself? Why did I have to be blindsided by Alan's confession? What reason do I have to lie to you, Owen? I don't know. Maybe I did something that upsets you and you want to avoid me? Because if I hurt you, Wanda, then I want you to know how sorry I am. You don't have anything to be sorry for because you did nothing wrong. So if I didn't do anything that bothered you, then how come you seem reluctant to be near me or even speak with me? Is there anything between you and Pacho? I wouldn't put it past you since you have a thing for powerful men with money. There's nothing going on and you know it. So how come you and Pacho are so bothered if I'm wrong? Because it's clear that you're trying to cause havoc since you can't get over the fact that Ben and I are together. Just like you refuse to accept the fact that Gianni was a married man when you decided to sleep with him. How do you think I'd be able to ruin D.A. Russo's reputation? It's clear that she's being extra and Valley Park needs to know it. Maybe the whole world needs to know. Since you're the CEO of Global News Press, you can make sure millions of people know what sort of person the district attorney truly is. Are you suggesting this as your way of causing trouble for the Russos or to help me out? Why can't both reasons be true? The reason why I couldn't come clean was because I was scared. Isidore Russo being afraid of something, yet another lie from a pathological liar. I'm telling you the truth, Isabel. My fear was that I would lose you for good. The two of us had gotten closer and I didn't want to lose you so soon after getting you back. Let's make one thing clear. You didn't even get me back. Keep telling yourself that. I'm sorry for my scheme and keeping it from you, but you can't tell me that you don't understand where I'm coming from when you hit the fact that you didn't carry our child to term. I'm not reluctant to be around you, Owen. Just like I told you, I've got a lot to get done. That's all. Alright, I'll take your word for it. Sorry for bothering you. Oh, please. It's not like I was trying to take your place. Liar. Even after you were exposed, you were gonna let Gianni divorce me because he thought he was in love with you. You're right. I was in a tough position and I thought that being with Gianni would help me out. I'm sorry, Mrs. Russo. I'm sorry for everything. You will be sorry. If you don't walk out of Ben's life, I think you'll be the one who's sorry. If you continue doing what you're doing, since it will only push Ben farther away. Alright, since you're trying to take over Russo Jewelers and since I want D.A. Russo to get off my back, I'll go along with your plan. I knew you would, but how do I make sure that D.A. Russo receives public embarrassment? It seems like the elite of Valley Park were aware of Quinlan's relationship with Gianni. Maybe you should get her to admit on national television that she was Gianni's mistress and that it made D.A. Russo go crazy. How dare you use that against me? It's not something that I'm using against you, Isabel. I forgave you, remember? Not only did I forgive you, but I understood why you did what you did. I just wish you would forgive me for my mistakes. Isidore, for as long as we were together, I forgave you time and time again. I refuse to live the rest of my life like that. And I refuse to live the rest of my life without you. Despite your dislike of my flaws, I think you feel the same way too. Sounds like you said everything you needed to say, Isidore. I have one more thing to say, Isabel. I still love you, and I'll do whatever it takes for you to have me back, because I believe you still love me too. But right now, what's clear to me is that this is someone who you and Vanessa both know personally. It made my blood boil, Dr. Murphy. I don't want that man to hurt my mom the same way he hurt you. Guess that means the two of us still have a lot of work to do. Alright, I'll take your word for it. Sorry for bothering you. Mom, you do know that there are other places in town where we could hang out other than Theodosius's palace. I know, Alan, but this is a place where I wanted to spend time with you. Alright, but I've gotta know, is there more you have in store for this mother-son hangout day? I don't see why you stopped by today, Owen, unless you're prosecuting one of my clients. But again, you know that I wouldn't be able to discuss that with you anyway. The reason I'm here is to discuss Wanda. What a surprise. Why exactly do you always feel the need to discuss my wife with me? Because I'd like to know what you did to make her keep her distance from me. Just brace yourself, JJ. What I've got to say isn't something that you'll like. Just spit it out, Keeve. You know how Yvette and I are friends, right? Recently, we decided to be more than friends. I asked Yvette to be my girlfriend, and she agreed. What's this important thing you needed to share with me, Max? You know how my older brother Ben is a private investigator, right? I remember. Since he knows that you're being stalked, he agreed to help find out who your stalker is. What are you doing here? I came here to see your mother, since she and I are in a relationship. Don't remind me. Besides, you think that wasting my mother's time romantically gives you permission to interrupt my time with her? Alan, please. Finnegan didn't just decide to interrupt anything. I'm the one who asked him to come here. Let's say Wanda is keeping her distance from you. What does that have to do with me? Like we've discussed before, both of us attended law school, which means both of us are very smart men. It's not a coincidence that Wanda's not talking with me much after Juneteenth. And that's my fault? It certainly isn't mine. Are you sure about that, Owen? You sure you didn't do anything to rub my wife off the wrong way? You and Yvette? I can't believe it. How come you're not happy for me? Happy for you? Keeve, what do you even see in Yvette? She's cool. Yvette speaks her mind and she cares about me a lot. We both know what Yvette is known for. Please don't tell me you're already sleeping with her. I haven't slept with her. She's not the same Yvette that's talked about at school. Maybe she is, Keeve. Have you considered that she might only be using you? And just because your brother's a private investigator, you feel like he can do more than the police can? The police haven't even been able to find out who your stalker is. Having Ben look into this is worth a shot, Vanessa. What else do you have to lose? Alright, Max. Does he even know where to start looking? He has an idea. Since he was filled in, Ben thinks that the stalker is most likely someone who we both know personally. There are only two places where we know the same person. I doubt that anyone at the church would be this crazy, so the only option is someone we both know at school. Why would you invite him to share a meal with me, Mom? You know I can't stand him, but I care about Finnegan a lot. Because of that, I would like the two of you to get along. A hard lesson that I've learned in recent years is that we don't always get what we want. Alan, I can't be in the middle of this feud you have with Finnegan. There's a simple solution to that, Mom. Tell this nymphomaniac to kick rocks. I'm sorry, Harley, but I can't hold my tongue any longer. Alan, you should learn to stop being such a brat and to listen to what your mother has to say. What could I have possibly done to upset Wanda? Don't ask me. You're the one who chased after her on Juneteenth, remember? Owen, you still there? Look, if you're trying to figure out why Wanda won't speak to you, then I think you should leave because you won't find the answer here. Is that code word for telling me to walk out of Wanda's life for good? Yvette isn't using me, JJ. She cares about me and I care about her. The word caring and Yvette don't mix. You're wrong. I clearly know her more than you do. Alright, you told me what you supposedly see in Yvette. What does she see in you, Keeve? What are you saying? Is it that hard to believe that a girl would actually like me? What makes Ben so sure that we personally know the stalker? For all we know, the stalker might be someone who knows us from passing. Would a stalker know that my goal was to be more than friends with you when we first met, Vanessa? Ben is certain that the stalker is worried that I'll take you away from them, which makes no sense since I'm clearly not dating my stalker. That doesn't stop this guy from wanting you. But there are tons of people at school though, Max. How are we gonna pinpoint which one is the stalker? Let's start with looking through our mutual friends on social media. That could at least give us an idea. If you have time, of course. Finnegan, you promised. And I wanted to keep my promise, Harley. I really did. But I'm not gonna stand around and let your son disrespect you. The only person disrespecting my mother is you, Commissioner. Alright, I'll admit that you don't like me for sleeping with your uncle's wife. But that's in the past now. Ask your wife if it's all in the past. She wasted years of her life married to a man who didn't love her. You decided to have an affair with a married woman while you treated the woman you married like garbage. Why are you so concerned about Terry? I don't owe you any explanations. I'm sorry, Mom, but I've lost my appetite. Now you get to enjoy your meal with your little boyfriend. That's not what I'm saying at all. But again, it is clear that I wouldn't mind if you and my wife were no longer friends. She'd be better off anyway. I doubt it, because the moment I walk out of Wanda's life, it would only upset her and you'd see it. Keeve, I'm not saying that a girl wouldn't like you at all, but why does a girl like Yvette Mitchell have to get your attention? Because she's a happier, better person with me in it. Someone doesn't just change after being with someone else. How would you know? I don't see you dating anyone. See you later, JJ. What about when I get with Vanessa, JJ? Would you not think that I deserve her? Well, guess what? I do deserve Vanessa since I'd be the best thing that ever happened to her. We've gone through all the mutual friends on social media and still couldn't find anything. Unless there's other people we both know who we aren't friends with online. What about Keeve Burke? What about him? I know him and he's friends with JJ. Max, you know more than anyone how it feels to be accused of something you didn't do. Let's not do the same thing with Keeve, especially since he is my brother's friend. Besides, Keeve is not interested in me whatsoever. How are you so sure? Because Yvette Mitchell has got his full attention. He even changed his looks for her. Most of all, Keeve can't be the stalker since he's the one who found the note which threatened you. Wait, you never told me this. I didn't tell you since it really didn't matter. The envelope was closed and Keeve didn't even know what was in it other than the fact that it was addressed to me. Last time I checked, one person can't be in two places at once. It would be pretty stupid of him to leave a note and call attention to himself while doing it. I guess so. Maybe I'm the idiot for even considering that he could be a psychopath. Last time I checked, one person can't be in two places at once. It would be pretty stupid of him to leave a note and call attention to himself while doing it. I guess so. Maybe I'm the idiot for even considering that he could be a psychopath. Maybe you should get her to admit on national television that she was Gianni's mistress and that it made D.A. Russo go crazy. You decided to have an affair with a married woman while you treated the woman you married like garbage. Why are you so concerned about Terry? Because the moment I walk out of Wanda's life, it would only upset her and you'd see it. How was work? It would have went smoothly if I didn't receive an unexpected visitor. What unexpected visitor? Owen. He told me that you've been avoiding him. I don't see why he would lie about that, so I'm curious as to why you're not speaking with him much. What's got you so upset, Alan? You mean who's got me so upset? And it's that husband of yours. He didn't deserve you and he doesn't deserve my mother. Because of that, I'm gonna split them apart. Please don't tell me that D.A. Russo bothered you again. Don't worry, she didn't. But I do want to discuss our district attorney. I think I can help you find a solution to your problem with her. How? You could reveal to the world that you slept with her husband. What's going on, Max? I think I've got your first suspect. You need to let me handle this investigation. Don't forget that you're in as much danger as Vanessa. Probably even more. When I told you about the stalker and the threat, you asked me who would want to hurt me. I think I know, Ben. One person who wanted to hurt me is Keith Burke. I haven't ignored Owen completely, Udell. In fact, I told him that I've been busy. Sounds like that answer wasn't good enough for him. I guess not. Even if Owen is overreacting, it's obvious that something happened on Juneteenth. What did you and Owen say to one another when he walked after you? Just take a deep breath and tell me what Finnegan did to upset you this time. It's the same thing, Dr. Murphy. He doesn't know how to butt out of things that don't concern him. I was spending time with my mom at Theodosius' palace, or at least I was supposed to be. Suddenly, Finnegan shows up and my mom tells me that she wants Finnegan and I to be buddies. Can you blame her for wanting peace between you two? I can sure blame your ex-husband, because if he's no longer with my mom, then I no longer have to feel obliged to suck up to the guy. How exactly do you plan to break up Finnegan and Harley? It's quite simple. Finnegan can't help himself around women, so I'll just pay a beautiful woman who's looking for a quick buck and get her to sleep with Finnegan. And you're willing to hurt your mother in the process? You're unbelievable. So you refuse to give me my own TV program, but you're just fine with me shaming myself in front of the entire nation? I'm not trying to make you a public spectacle, Quinlan. You got an issue with D.A. Russo and this is the solution. The solution? If I go off running my mouth about how I slept with her husband, then it would only grow her hatred for me. Not only that, but going public with what I did will only make Ben upset. And I am not gonna lose him over my issue with his mother. Why would the police commissioner's son want to hurt you? First off, Keith is someone who Vanessa and I know personally. On top of that, when Yvette Mitchell made those false allegations against me, he caused me problems. What sort of problems? I didn't tell you then, but do you remember when someone spray painted my car? I remember. Was Keith the one who did it? I can't say for sure. What he did do was mock me. Ben, it made me so angry that I slammed him against a locker and almost rearranged his face. How come you didn't tell me any of this when I asked who wanted to hurt you? This incident with Keith happened months ago. At the time, I thought he was just reacting over Yvette's lies. Now I'm beginning to wonder if there was more to that. All I told Owen was that he should try to make some new friends while I spoke with you to make you calm down. Do you think he took offense to your suggestion? That's the only explanation I can think of. It blows my mind that Owen would be this reckless when you've been a good friend to him. Just forget about it, Udell. No wonder. I won't forget about it. Maybe you shouldn't just avoid Owen. It's clear that he's a trash friend, so you should just keep your distance from him for good. I can't do it. I can't let go of Owen. I wouldn't be the one hurting my mother. Finnegan would, but he would only hurt Harley due to your actions. Believe me, Dr. Murphy, the last thing I want to do is see my mom heartbroken, but my mom is falling in love with that man. The less she's in love with him, the less hurt she'd be if Finnegan is out of her life soon. I get that you don't want your mother to fall hard for Finnegan, but if he's gonna inevitably hurt her, why would you want to bear that responsibility too? Bottom line, your affair with Gianni is in the past now. Exactly. So why bring it up to a world that doesn't need to be involved in it? Well, D.A. Russo always seems to want to bring it up. Don't you think that exposing your affair nationally would finally get her to shut up for good? I'm just curious, Pacho. How exactly do you think that I'm supposed to share my dirty laundry to the world? By having you host an honest discussion with women who had affairs with rich, powerful men. This dialogue would help enhance your career and get D.A. Russo off your back. What do you think? Why should I risk being seen as the bad guy when Heidi is the one who's responsible for her marital issues? From what you've told me, the stalker wants Vanessa all to himself. Has Keith Burke implied that he might have a crush on her? Nothing that I've heard him say out of his mouth. In fact, Vanessa told me that he's getting close to Yvette Mitchell. If he's got his eyes on another girl, then why would you assume that he might be the stalker? Because Vanessa informed me that Keith just happened to stumble across a note threatening my life. Don't you find that suspicious, Ben? Why are you so willing to keep Owen in your life when he's proven himself to be such a demanding friend? He doesn't demand much from me. Owen just wants the two of us to spend time together, but I haven't been able to do that much lately. Maybe he feels like I need to keep my distance from him to keep peace between you two. Is there any truth to that? Someone has to keep the peace between you two since you refuse to do it. I can't sit by and let my mother get hurt, Dr. Murphy. Alan, did I ever tell you how I found out that Finnegan was cheating on me with Heidi? We haven't gotten around to that conversation during our pillow talks. Here's what happened. Keith overheard Finnegan speaking with Heidi. He told me what he heard without any consideration of my feelings. I'm really sorry, Dr. Murphy. This is my point. When Finnegan breaks your mother's heart, I know that she'll be right there to comfort her, and she'll be back on her feet, just like I did. All right, I'll leave it alone. Thanks for being my voice of reason. What are you talking about, Quinlan? Forget I said anything. I won't. How is D.A. Russo responsible for what happened in her marriage? Did Gianni decide to cheat on her because she was an inattentive, unloving wife? Alright, clearly you won't leave this alone. What I say does not leave this room. Got it? My lips are sealed. Over 20 years ago, D.A. Russo cheated on Gianni. She cheated first? With who? It doesn't matter. Of course it matters since she feels like you're the devil, and she's the one who had no business cheating in the first place. Fine, it was Commissioner Burke. D.A. Russo had an affair with Commissioner Burke. It ended shortly after Elvira lost her life, but the affair rekindled last year. Now I see why Dr. Murphy divorced him. And you also see why I can't go public about my affair with Gianni. It's gonna affect a lot of people. Hello? Yes. I would like you to gather together a program for a discussion with women who have been cheated on by their spouses. The word I would use is convenient. Does that mean Keith is someone you'd look at? Yeah, Max. I'll look into Keith Burke. Thanks. I just hope that what you find will get us closer to making this nightmare end for Vanessa.